Okay, what do we have next?
What we have next is I played Silksong since the last time we streamed.
Okay.
Been waiting years for this. This is by far the most important news item to cover, is the release of Silksong.
Oh, so is your most important news item have to do with Gabe Newell being summoned by Congress to talk about how Steam is radicalizing users against right-wingers?
No, I didn't see that.
That just came out today.
Okay, sure. No, I want to talk about Silksong, damn it. We're diverting from Charlie
Silksong
Kirk
is
for this.
radicalizing people against wannabe Hitler users.
I mean, if smacking a bunch of bugs in the face is going to radicalize you against Hitler, then go for it. So, great game. I think when I apologies to those who watched me stream it. I will not be continuing to stream it for the same reason I've given up on streaming any game, is that when I play it in the few minutes that I have to play it in between other things happening in the house. I don't have time to set up a stream for that most of the time. So yeah, I'm just going to play it when I can. Sorry, Jassa. But yeah, so they've had the first update came out, and they addressed some of the issues that I had with it while I was streaming. Is that there's a lot of like just normal enemies and hazards that do double damage for no apparent reason. They made some of them not do double damage.
Okay.
So that was nice, and people are complaining about it. Oh, they're making it easy. Noobs just need to get good. And yeah, there is something to that, but at the same time, it's like, is it really a problem to just let people enjoy the game? Like,
remember,
that's
difficulty modes exist for a reason.
not in Silksong. They don't. Someone will mod it in. They did it with Hollow Knight, but it doesn't have a difficulty selection by default, which I kind of wish it did. Like maybe it doesn't have to be much. Just like maybe there's one difficulty thing where like you can turn off double damage. There is no double damage. I feel like that would make it a lot more accessible. Yeah, no, it's really good game design in the sense that like the game teaches you how to play it while playing it with no text. So like a good example for that is the first time you encounter hot coals. There's an enemy that is positioned such that you cannot help but hit them into the hot coals, where they will then take damage and die. So you see, aha, hot coals don't just damage me, they also damage the enemies. So great. And then you go a little bit further in the same room, and there's a new enemy that you've never seen before that's kind of hopping. It's a little horsey hop thing, which is absolutely fucking adorable. I don't kill those guys because they're too cute. But it's just hopping through the room.
I think the cuter it is, the easier it is to kill it.
Sure. But then it gets to the coals, and it keeps going on the coals. And it's like, I've already seen the coals damage enemies, but these guys aren't taking damage. You can hop on the coals. So it's like, it's teaching you that like when you see this type of floor, you can actually go on it for a split second without taking damage. So it's like, without having any text, it now just explained this mechanic of the game to you.
Ultra Fine Point, thank you very much for resubscribing,
so
and Fontaine, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl.
Now, I do want to show, so the boss fights are hit or miss. Like a lot of them seem to be like copies of bosses that were in Hollow Knight. And to make them harder, they just have them summon a bunch of enemies with them on the screen that you have to deal with, and that's more annoying than anything. So like there are a few skippable bosses that like I have skipped because I just don't feel like dealing with all those. Like, I'm not dying because it's a hard boss. I'm dying because there's 15 guys on the screen and I accidentally bumped into one. But then there are others that are really, really good. And one that I want to say is these guys made me sad. Like after they have no story behind them. They're just there. But like the boss fight itself is the story, and it hits hard. So like it's these two guys. You see how they're kind of embracing each other?
Yeah.
In a loving embrace. So the whole thing, these are dancers, and the whole fight is them dancing around you. And like it starts off slow, and then it gets fast, then it gets faster, and they're in sync the whole time until the third wave, or third whatever it's called.
Phase.
That's the one. Till the third phase, then they're out of sync and fast, and it's harder to dodge there. But then when you kill one of them, you know what? I brought a video. I'm just going to show you. So that's the third phase. Kills one of them, and we move on to phase 4. It takes it. music slows down, it gets sad. He's going slower. And then when it gets to the part, the move where there would have been an embrace after this, he just sings to the crowd he's so sad because you killed his partner. It's so sad.
Aw.
Anyway, so yeah, that made me sad. Shout out to Mythic and Sandy for that clip. I was not recording when I went through that fight. I am going to put the YouTube channel in the chat, so feel free to go give them a shout out. I am not going to vouch for any of their potential political views. I do not know anything about this person. I just know that they have 20 subscribers, and it was the only video of that boss fight that was in high quality when I was looking for it. So go give them a sub.
Bravo says, I need this game. I need to finish the first game still.
You're still like 3 hours in. That's okay. Silksong is so much bigger than Hollow Knight, though. Like, I think I'm at 40 hours, somewhere around there now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm about midway through Act 2. And I assume there's 3 acts.
Huh. Fair.
So it's a big game.
It's kind of a big deal.
The Killer Rabbit of Caer Banog. I don't know what that's with reference to at the moment, but I do know that reference.
Geargasm said it felt way shorter.
Silksong?
According
I feel
to
like
Geargasm.
Act 1 felt like the whole of Hollow Knight. But yeah, I know the Killer Rabbit of Caer Banog is Monty Python. I don't know why they were referencing Monty Python. I just saw the Monty Python reference, so I had to read it. 40 Hours hasn't only been out for a couple days. It's been out since the 4th.
It's way funnier to think that you spent 40 hours in 2 days, though.
Yeah, no, I have a family and a job.
You abandoned both for Silksong, and that's way funnier.
Oh, apparently. It's a good game. Highly recommend it. Play through Hollow Knight first if you haven't played. Like, it'll make sense without Hollow Knight. Like, there aren't really references to Hollow Knight in it. Like, there are a few, but if you don't miss them, it's nothing critical. Yeah, no, it's a good game. Hollow Knight kind of... Hollow Knight is easier than Silksong. So you get good at Hollow Knight, and then Silksong comes around, and it'll be easier to get into it than going straight to Silksong, that is my opinion. And I've seen all the speedrunners have been like, oh, I'm so glad they made this harder. And this, because like if you learned how to pogo in Hollow Knight, it was kind of an easy game after that. I'm like, wasn't Hollow Knight like world renowned for how hard it was? And now they're saying like, oh, good thing they made it harder. Like, no, I just like it doesn't need to be. Okay, I will say,
speedrunners should never be who you determine any game's quality from. Like the people who make it their career to break a game in half. No.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, but it's annoying though because I've watched so many Hollow Knight speedruns that like all of these speedrunners are now doing Silksong, but I don't want to watch the Silksong stuff until I'm done the game myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so YouTube has been clogging up my recommendations with that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it yet. But I will say, so one of the things that I think I've kind of figured out why Hollow Knight managed to grab me, and it's the same reason why Silksong is actually working for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because the difficulty is such that, like, how do I explain this? So, like, the boss fights. If we go back to if we go back to the boss fight, you can see they are very clearly.
I can't hear shit.
What they are going. They're very clearly. Yeah, you can't hear me over the friggin'
yeah.
Thing, but, let's see. Can I mute it?
I feel like just explaining to people that boss fights have telegraphed choreography that you can learn is a basic game design concept most people are familiar with.
Well, yeah, but that's so the thing about Hollow Knight and Silksong is it's not just that the telegraphs are there, it's that it's very easy to figure out what the correct response to the telegraph is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the matter of like training your muscles to do the thing when you see it.
Yeah, it's every Metroidvania ever.
No, it's not, because I don't know.
You haven't played enough of them to have an opinion.
No, I have though. I couldn't get into Metroid. There's a question. Is Super Mario World technically a Metroidvania?
No, it's not. Do you know what makes a Metroidvania?
No, I don't. I just know that you jump on platforms and it's a Metroidvania because it's a side scroller and you're jumping on platforms.
No, that's what makes something a platformer. Oh my fucking god. All right, so
isn't a Metroidvania a type of platformer?
No, because Resident Evil is a Metroidvania. A Metroidvania is any kind of game where you have a environment that slowly opens itself up to you based on the progression of your character within that environment. Usually, they involve a lot of backtracking. Many Metroidvanias are platformers because Metroid and Castlevania were platformers. So when Metroidvanias are informed by what you are, when they're informed by Metroid and Castlevania, they're going to be platformers as well. But games like a lot of survival horror games end up being Metroidvanias as well by the standard definition of a Metroidvania.
I don't know. I'm told that Hollow Knight's a Souls-like.
Is it just because it's difficult? Because it doesn't...
No, I think it's because of the death mechanic and how you have to go, like, get your corpse back to find your own money.
Yeah, but that's a Shovel Knight mechanic.
Okay. So Shovel Knight's a Souls-like.
Is a Metroidvania, is a game where upgrades build off one another to open up your environment. That is what it is. There are...
Okay,
now there's
talking about how Shovel Knight is a Souls-like.
So, Shovel Knight is not a Souls-like. Shovel Knight is more of a celebration of retro platformers, like retro A to B platformers. It's not a Souls-like. Mirlana says it's Shovels-like. No, it's an action-adventure platformer. That's what it is. Because it's celebrating NES games, which were mostly action-adventure platformers. So...
Trump has announced that Antifa is a terrorist organization, apparently. So
again?
If you don't like fascism, you're a terrorist for that.
Apparently so. Cricket Flim says, Suris being a game nerd is so peak. Look, I like video games, okay?
I know, and I like breaking definitions by being overly technical or whatever. So
no,
the definition
you're
that
not...
I'm familiar with for Souls-like, Shovel Knight is a Souls-like.
All right, you're not being
Thank
overly
you for coming
technical.
To my TED Talk.
You're not being overly technical. You're being overly autistic.
Same thing?
Yes, actually! Unironically, yes! Sean says, but Metroid didn't do that first. It was Zelda. So...
Zelda's the OG Metroidvania.
Zelda didn't start off by doing that either. Because the original
Zeldas were kind of linear, weren't they?
The original Zelda was full open world. Like, it was one of the earliest examples of an open world adventure game.
Okay.
Also, no. Actually, no, Sean Helfin. I disagree. Zelda's not the kind of game that does that, because the difference between Zelda games, if you're talking about Link to the Past style Zelda games, their hallmark is individual dungeons that you go through in a linear progression. That is the hallmark of that style of Zelda. The Zelda that is Link to the Past, the Zelda that then became Ocarina of Time, the Zelda that then became Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That is what that is. A Metroidvania, on the other hand, typically has a segmented but more open world environment where your power-ups or your keys or whatever you have that is building up on your character is opening up areas constantly. So...
just like Fallout New Vegas.
That's just an open world RPG. That's just an open world RPG.
No, it's a platformer.
It's actually the furthest thing from a goddamn platformer you can get.
There are platforms you can jump on.
Turok 2 is not a platformer. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So no, I disagree that those conventions are Zelda conventions, because Zelda, that style of Zelda game, prides itself more on linearity and getting a single power-up in a dungeon that allows you to do that dungeon. Metroidvanias, on the other hand, have segmented areas, but they are not segmented the way that dungeons are. They are more like
designed to be broken. If you can get into a room before you can actually, okay, this is one of my complaints with Silksong, is that I was so proud of myself for managing to skip up to a place where you clearly need to get to the double jump before you can get up there. And then when I got up there was another double jump requirement right away, because they knew that if they put that enemy there, people would be pogoing off it to get up there. So they're like, no, we can't let them up here before they actually have it. So it's like, fuck, I worked that hard to get in there. Anyway. So yeah, I did a skip and then failed.
You know what game you would enjoy after you're done, like, breaking Silksong in half?
Probably not whatever one you're about to recommend.
I was going to say Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
Never heard of it.
It's a Metroidvania game, a 2D open platformer like Hollow Knight is.
Okay, but there's so many games that have been recommended to me because it's like Hollow Knight, and everybody who loves Hollow Knight loves these games, and then I will play it and be like, eh.
Okay. And they're not me.
So, yeah, Okay.
They can be wrong. I can be right. I'll just be arrogant. If you're allowed to dial up the autism, I will dial up the arrogance. We are going to see exactly how far we can push these personas.
We do have to get to the news items eventually.
You're the one that diverted us on this path.
You think this is my persona? No, this is just me.
Oh, no. So here's the thing.
My persona is in front of the camera for my Friday videos.
So here's the thing. When we get on camera, I know for a fact that the people that we are like at a 7 out of 10, and then once we get on these cameras, the people that we are goes up to at least an 8 out of 10. We dial up our personalities just a small notch.
I don't. This is just me.
Are you sure? Because I've also hung out with you in real life.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure anymore.
That was all it took for you to... Okay.
Yeah, no, not sure anymore.
Never say that Vice Rhino isn't a man of his convictions. The convictions just aren't very solid.
Justice says stop gaslighting.
I'm not gaslighting him. Gaslighting's not real, and if you think it is, you're fucking crazy.
Gas? What's that?
You still think the moon exists?
So we had an electrician over to the garage is getting they got upgraded. The electric was upgraded, and while he was there, it was like,
Rambler, thank you for redeeming points for
an hook up a generator to our house. Because like, if shit hits the fan and we're in a survival situation, it'd be nice to have electricity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what would it take to hook up a generator? So he writes me up a quote, and of course, being an electrician, instead of just like, hey, here's a thing that you plug a generator into that you just buy at Costco or whatever. He was like, oh no, we're installing a natural gas powered generator that will turn on automatically as soon as the power goes out, and you won't even notice that the power did go out. It's gonna be $18,000. Like, okay, but what if I just want to plug in a gasoline generator and run my fridge off of that?
Like, oh, that'll be like $600.
Well, no, the quote for that one was like 6,000, but I guess like...
Why wouldn't you just buy a gasoline generator and put it next to your house?
Well, so if we want to have it actually tied into our house rather than just plugging things into it with an extension cord, then we would need to upgrade our meter. And I think if my understanding is correct, it's because the meter we have now doesn't care what direction the electricity is going. It just keeps ticking up. So if we start generating our own electricity, we then pay for that.
Thank you for the 500 bits, Ultrafine Point. Ultrafine Point for 500 bits says, was the electrician IBEW?
I don't. Is that a certification or is that a company? Because if it was a company, no. If it's certification, I don't fucking know.
Is that a Blue Eyes White Dragon? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
IBEW is union, I think. I don't know.
Probably not the same union as in Canada. Keep gas generators outside. Yes, I know that. Thank you. Keep the gas lighting generators inside.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Limor Pinku, Love Bunny Games, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Aurora, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it. Just a little bit.